Well, we are going on to with one of the bigger games coming up. First game of the weekend as well, a bit stinky for a 12:30 kickoff. You'd think this would normally be a Sunday.
Or put it at like 5:30 or something.
Yeah, I mean, it must be mainly because of the internationals. So, normally you've got Liverpool now playing in Europa League. I'm going to mention that whenever I can.
Well, we're going to be fucking playing.
Well, there is that. So, but obviously then Liverpool now playing a lot of games on Sundays anyway. So this is an opportunity for them to play a game on a Saturday.
Yeah, so we just
Thursday night fixtures. So
we thought with this being the podcast that comes out just before the Prem starts,
good way to lead up to a big fixture.
Yeah,
by doing a combined 11.
Yeah, so I asked you to do one before, so we'll get our combined 11 up. How do you want to do it? Do you want to do your full 11?
Yeah, I'll do my full 11. I've gone purely off this season, so performances of players this season. There's a few omissions in there. Which I'll explain.
Right, so what we'll do is we'll just say the full team, and then afterwards we'll go through why you put them there, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just go through them now first with no context. In net, we've got Alisson, right back, Kyle Walker, centre back partnership of Van Dijk and Diaz. Left back is Gvardiol. Sitting in front, Rodri, Szoboszlai and Bernardo Silva playing in the midfield. I've got Doku and Salah on the wings with Haaland up top. And you've got the exact same.
Oh my God.
It has killed me to not have Julian Alvarez in there.
That's who I thought you was having a problem with.
And I also don't think there's been a standout performer at left back.
No, there hasn't.
I think Gvardiol has done fine. He's been okay.
Yeah.
I think he's still not been a world beater yet, but I think he's had some good games.
It's not his position, really. You want to see him as a centre-back.
I think even Ake has obviously done good at left-back for City, so it shows that it isn't a ridiculously difficult task, but I would then argue that Robertson's not been in the best form. He's also been injured. Tsimikas has come in, also hasn't been electric, so Gvardiol kind of gets in on the technicality, really, into the team.
I'm quite annoyed, actually. We were thinking too much the same, aren't we?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think it's actually pretty easy though. Like Salah is in.
I don't think there's many people that would disagree with that team. Surely not.
People could even say Alvarez over Haaland, but Haaland is still top goal scorer in the Premier League. So I find that a difficult argument to make.
Yeah, I don't think you find many people saying that.
I think he has to go in there. I think people are now Haaland's now, even after one season, is becoming victim to the sort of, what's the right word for it? I don't know. Like the way people judge him is based on how good he's already been. So they sort of put him under a microscope and treat him differently. Like
treating him like a different person, like
because he's already shown how good he is. Like Salah last year, people saying weren't really giving him his plaudits, and he was brilliant. Last year.
Because they're so used to him getting 50 goals because he gets 40 goals. It's not like yeah.
At the end of the season, his tally, barring if he has a major injury, is still going to be really, really high.
Yeah.
But because he'd maybe scored 5 or 6 goals more at this point last season or whatever it was, I'm not completely sure. People are sort of saying, oh, he's not as good as last year. And also, Alvarez has been chirping him with goals and assists.
Yeah.
So
there's literally no point me going through mine because it's exactly the same as what you just heard there from Levi.
Doku gets in on the left. Is it premature? Potentially. He's still been brilliant. Obviously, had that really standout game the other week.
His recent games has just made me put him in.
But Grealish hasn't been as heavily featuring. I don't think there's been a standout player on the left for Liverpool because I feel like they've rotated that front three's functionality quite slightly.
I think Foden's been playing well, but I just wouldn't put him on the left.
And Bernardo as well, it's like, he's obviously outstanding. But in my midfield, I had Rodri and Szoboszlai as absolutely nailed. And who can I pick as the last pick?
That was the same as mine.
And if, at that point, I'm not, even though Bernardo Silva hasn't been bad or anything like that, he's not lit the world alight, he's been good.
Yeah.
But Foden's been good. And
I thought you would probably like try and turn it around and put Szoboszlai and Rodri in the centre and then have Alvarez behind the striker.
Yeah, I think that realistically, because Alvarez probably almost definitely deserves more of a shout to be in this team than Bernardo Silva at this point in the season.
How old is he now, Alvarez?
I'm not actually sure.
Doing well for his age.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
I know that.
There's a world where if he stays at City, he could have a really good career there. I mean, it's difficult. Now that he's playing every week, it's a bit different. Last year, I think people were asking the question, like, well, when he's played, he's delivered. He's gone and won the World Cup with Argentina. he has to play him, and he is playing him.
Yeah.
But whether or not, if he doesn't fit him into that 11, which he now is doing, obviously, is he going to be happy staying? I know they want a treble, but he'll clearly be wanting to be playing more football.
Yeah.
But yeah, it pains me to leave him out, but I wanted to go with the 4-4-3, and I felt like having the actual midfielders in there, the wingers sort of pick themselves.
It's definitely winning the league, that team, isn't it?
Obviously, Trent gets a shout. Not been as good this season so far, and Walker has actually been unbelievable so far.
I don't think you can look past any. I don't think you can look past Walker with any other right back.
I think he's the best in the league this season anyway.
Yeah.
I think he's been performing really well. So I can't believe we got bang on the same one. I thought it would be quite different. I was
as you was going through him, I was looking like, and I was just smiling as you were going through him. I was like, he's got the same as me, like every single position.
We've done a lot like that.
I didn't think you'd put Doku in it. So when you went, well, my wingers are Doku and Salah, I went, fuck's sake.
Imagine I left Haaland out. Just put Alvarez up front. But no, I feel like you can't not put Haaland in, regardless of what people seem to think at the minute. Maybe he has scored less than he had at this point last season, but he's still
but it was wild.
He'd
last
scored
season.
like 2 hat-tricks in his first 10 games last year.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, I think that's fairly straightforward. Obviously, that can change at times because there's such good players at those clubs, but if we're doing it all as of right now, and the form of the players, I think that's pretty fair.
I think Salah's got a decent record against City as well, so I'm going to tip him to score this weekend.
I actually think
it's at City's ground as well, let's be...
I'm tipping Liverpool to win this.
Really?
Yeah.
Away?
Yeah.
I don't fancy Liverpool away from home at any
If
club.
there's a team that can beat City that's not Spurs, it's Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters where they play. I know City are good at home, but I think Liverpool have really been warming into this season. And,
if it was at Anfield, I think Liverpool will win it.
But it really shake up this title race. Liverpool win.
Oh yeah, imagine if City can't afford another drop.
Well, you look at the fact that I know that it was absolute thriller, the 4-4, which obviously we haven't covered on here. Chelsea aren't anywhere near Liverpool, but I do think Pep got that selection wrong.
Do you?
Yeah, I think his midfield was too attacking. I think they didn't really show Chelsea a lot of
enough respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
As much as we've not seen Chelsea be brilliant, in the big games they've been good. And the midfield was so attacking that, apart from Rodri, that it was Chelsea's midfield versus Rodri. And I actually thought Chelsea's midfield dominated the game.
Yeah.
They passed it better. And as soon as there was a turnover in possession, all of Chelsea's players were running at Rodri in the back four. The other midfielders weren't deep enough.
Sterling was on another level that game, weren't he, as well?
I think Megs Rodri.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he megged someone else. He was taking everybody on.
Yeah, he was really good. But I think it's partly due to your mentality as well, because he'd have in the back of his mind, like, he used to play for City. They let me go. I'm going to give you a taste.
But I think that's crazy, though, because of all players that I attribute capable of doing that to a former club, Raheem Sterling's not one of them. Like, he never delivered on very, very rare occasions, delivered against Liverpool for Manchester City.
He's up there with... Do you know who I put him up there with? It might be a bit disrespectful. Don't get me wrong, I love Sterling, right? But in terms of missing sitters...
Oh, yeah.
Put him up there with bloody Werner. Honestly, I know Werner's like on another level of missing sitters, but Sterling, I wouldn't put any money on him like getting a sitter.
There's some game... It wouldn't surprise you if he ever missed one, because we've seen him do it so often.
Yeah.
But he's been...
That's when he was getting them like all the time at City as well.
As much as I think people would make the argument that Cole Palmer's been Chelsea's best player this season, but I think it's Raheem Sterling for me.
I think he's got something in his contract, Palmer. Don't get me wrong, I think he's been...
back to... There's no...
No.
I was going to say, there's no clause to go back to...
I'm on about appearances.
They has to make them.
There must be, because...
Otherwise, I don't think he'd have left.
Well, it all came out, didn't it? Pep said, you're not going to be playing as much, but you've got a future here. He says, I need to be playing. And with him coming out saying, I need to be playing, I think they must have put something in the contract.
A minimum appearance amount.
Must have. Because he weren't getting played at the start, and then obviously Poch started playing him.
Obviously, he's bagging penalties. He's on penalties for Chelsea. Don't really know where that came from.
Don't get me wrong, he's deserved his starting place.
Well, you look at that. Did you see the run he had?
He nearly got through, didn't he?
He got through, but he missed.
Yeah, he tried
beat
dinking
everybody.
it, but yeah.
He didn't have to finish. But I was like, imagine that. Like how good that goal would have been if he'd have scored. I know, obviously, he kind of still gets the headlines anyway because he's left City for Chelsea, scores the equalising penalty. If he'd have scored that goal, that would have been unbelievable.
He knew the cameras were on him as well. You see what he was doing at the free kick?
Yeah.
Trying to listen in on their little City's little plan.
But he's looked great. Obviously, he's ended up getting an England call up for these qualifiers with a few players dropping out.
I don't think he'll get called up for the Euros themselves.
I think it depends on how his season goes. I think
Yeah,
there's
if
a
he
world
carries
where he
on.
could.
Yeah.
And because he's been playing really well.
Yeah, but he's too similar to the players we've got. Like,
I do think
you can't take too many similar players. It's like he moves like, I wouldn't say like Foden. Foden's like another class, but he's kind of like that. Do you reckon Grealish,
sort of know
Foden
what
player?
you mean. Yeah, I sort of know what you mean. But I think he's been. I didn't really expect him to be a particularly good signing.
No, I didn't.
I didn't think that was going to look like a good piece of business by Chelsea. I thought
it was just another youngster that they're getting in so no one else can get.
Yeah, it was a strange one. I didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah.